What if the biggest threat to a long life after 70 is not disease, bad luck, or even genetics, but a set of quiet decisions made decades earlier that no one warned you about? What if most older men do not age out of life, but slowly age themselves into a corner they cannot escape? Here is the mystery. Millions of men reach 70 believing they have done everything right. They worked hard, they provided, they survived stress, and yet, statistics show a brutal pattern. In the United States, men consistently live shorter lives than women, and the gap widens sharply after 70. The question is why? The clues appear early, but the explanation is delayed. To understand why many older men struggle to live long after 70, we have to follow a strict cause and effect timeline that starts far earlier than most people think. The origins of the issue begin in early adulthood. In their 20s and 30s, many men are trained, socially and culturally, to ignore signals from their bodies. Pain is pushed through. Fatigue is normalized. Emotional stress is swallowed instead of processed. According to research from the American Psychological Association, men are significantly less likely than women to seek help for stress, anxiety, or early health symptoms. The cause is simple. Strength is equated with silence. The effect is delayed care. This pattern does not cause immediate harm. That is why it is dangerous. The body adapts, blood pressure creeps up, inflammation becomes chronic, sleep becomes lighter. None of this feels urgent. Then come the changes that start quietly in the 40s. By age 40, testosterone levels begin to decline naturally in men, about 1% per year on average, according to data from the National Institutes of Health. Muscle mass decreases, recovery slows, visceral fat increases, even without weight gain. Here is the twist most men miss. The issue is not hormones alone. It is how men respond to these changes. Many reduce movement instead of adjusting it. They eat the same way with a slower metabolism. They rely on work identity even as physical resilience declines. This creates the first real risk factor for shortened life after 70. Men lose physical reserve. Reserve is the body's ability to handle stress, illness, or injury. When reserve drops, small events become big problems later. Now we reach the shift after 70 that most ignore. After 70, the body no longer tolerates neglect the same way. Data from the CDC shows that men over 70 have higher rates of heart disease, stroke, and accidental injury than women of the same age. But that is not the full story. Here is the hidden factor. Men are more likely to live alone, be socially isolated, and underreport symptoms. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that social isolation increases mortality risk by as much as 29%, comparable to smoking. The cause is lifelong emotional self-reliance. The effect is isolation at the exact stage of life when connection protects survival. This brings us closer to the breaking point. The breaking point often appears as a single event, a fall, a heart scare, a hospitalization. After that moment, life changes quickly. Research from American geriatric studies shows that older men are less likely to fully recover after major health events compared to women. Not because they are weaker, but because they often lack support systems and delay rehabilitation. Now let us reveal the 5 real reasons why many older men struggle to live long after 70. Not opinions, patterns. The first reason is delayed medical engagement. Men are statistically less likely to attend regular checkups, manage chronic conditions proactively, or follow through with preventive screenings. According to the CDC, men are far more likely to wait until symptoms become severe before seeking care. The cause goes back decades: avoidance. The effect after 70 is advanced disease that could have been managed earlier. The second reason is loss of purposeful movement. Many men stop intentional physical activity after retirement. Work once provided structure and movement. When it disappears, activity drops sharply. Data from the American Heart Association shows that sedentary behavior increases dramatically in men after retirement, raising risks for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. The third reason is emotional isolation. Men are less likely to maintain close friendships later in life. Studies show that many older men rely primarily on a spouse for emotional support. When that support is reduced or lost, loneliness becomes severe. Loneliness is not just emotional. It triggers stress hormones, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging at the cellular level. The fourth reason is identity collapse. For many men, identity is tied to productivity and usefulness. After retirement or physical limitation, that identity fractures. Research from the Health and Retirement Study shows that men who report a loss of purpose after retirement have higher rates of depression, cognitive decline, and mortality. Purpose is not optional after 70, it is protective. The fifth reason is resistance to adaptation. Many older men cling to outdated advice. Slow down, rest more, you've earned it. While rest matters, excessive withdrawal accelerates decline. The body adapts to challenge, not comfort. Removing challenge removes stimulus for strength, balance, and brain health. Now let's look at the fallout. When these factors combine, health declines faster. Medical costs rise, independence shrinks, lifestyle options narrow, men become reactive instead of proactive. And here is where many failed fixes appear. Some men chase supplements instead of habits. Others rely on medication alone without lifestyle change. Some isolate further, believing independence means doing everything alone. These fixes fail because they treat aging as something to endure, not manage. So, how does this link to today? If you are over 60, the trajectory is not locked. The same studies that show risk also show opportunity. Here are 3 direct actions you can apply today. First, schedule preventive care like training, not like emergency repair. Regular checkups, screenings, and follow-ups are not weakness. They extend control. Second, rebuild purposeful movement. Strength training, balance work, and walking with intent protect independence more than any pill. Third, build at least one non-negotiable connection, a group, a friend, a role. Isolation is as dangerous as disease after 70. Here is the clear warning based on evidence. Once isolation, frailty, and chronic disease stack together after 70, reversing decline becomes exponentially harder. Waiting costs time you cannot buy back. And here is the open thought to carry into the next video. What if longevity for men is not about being tougher, but about being wiser sooner? If this helped you see aging differently, do like, leave a comment, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for the next chapter, where we uncover the one habit that most older men resist, but that has the strongest link to living past 85 with independence.